You see, you got to be careful as a parent when you say certain things around your kids because they pay more attention than you think. It was the early 90s and I was about 9 or 10 years old. So we go to a church conference in Dallas, Texas. Dallas. I'm from Dallas. Go Cowboys. And I overheard my mom and dad on our way to this conference talk about a dear sister who was in the midst of an abusive relationship. And the conversation went a little like this. We need to pray for her because her husband is violent and we hope that he hasn't beat her up to the point where she can't come to church. When I overheard this conversation, I thought that perhaps the best thing for me to do was to go and find this woman, or if I couldn't find her, I would find her mother. You see, you got to be careful as a parent when you say certain things around your kids because they pay more attention than you think. And because I overheard the conversation and I knew who they were talking about, I decided in my little mind that I was going to go and fix it. So we get to the church conference that day in Dallas. I didn't find the actual lady that they were talking about, but I did happen to find the lady's mother. And I walk on down to the area where she was sitting after the service. I'll never forget it. I was about 10 years old. And I walked up to her and I said, "I hope your daughter's okay." And she looked down at me and she's like, "Excuse me?" I said, "Yeah, because her husband could be beating her up and you may need to go and check on her." Oh man. So about an hour later, we had went to the hotel where we were staying and we were in the pool enjoying ourselves, myself and one or two of my younger sisters with an uncle of ours. I will never forget that where we were in this pool, there was a balcony above the pool where we were staying on the second floor in this hotel. And I guess the old lady called my parents and she told my parents what I had said. And while I'm enjoying myself in the pool, my dad comes outside and looks down on the balcony and said, "Andre LaFane Battles." He calls every syllable in my name. And you know what happened from there, right? Now, the idea for Monday Motivation today is that many of us are caught up in this same spirit that I got caught up in at a younger age. The spirit of tale-bearing, gossiping, talking about things that are not your concern. And you know, the funny thing about it is that as Christians, we think that because we love the Lord, that gives us the unction or the authority to involve ourselves in someone else's business. Now, if you're going to be involved with someone else's business, it is for the point of praying for that person, interceding on the behalf of that person so that their lifestyle perhaps would improve, not that you would carry their business abroad. In fact, Proverbs 11:13 has some very important information that all of God's people need to know. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Are you concealing the personal business of individuals whose information has come in your direction, or are you helping to spread it abroad? That's the question. Are you spiritual? Are you of a faithful spirit? I had somebody message me the other day, someone that doesn't know me. They messaged me on Facebook and they said to me, "Aren't you that guy who did XYZ?" Now, you not knowing me means that you've been lying around the rumor mill and you heard something concerning me and you thought it was appropriate for you to bring that information to me seeking an answer, right? It's crazy. When God talks about us being faithful, he's talking about us being willing and able to see and know and understand about someone else and then keep it to ourselves. Because the scripture just said that those who are of a faithful spirit conceals whatever it is that they come across. They don't broadcast it. They don't put an amplifier behind it and make it common knowledge to everyone. And that's one of the biggest problems in God's church today. Gossip. Talking about things that don't concern you. Involving yourself in someone else's business. God says that we must work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. So the question that I have for you and I is, will my involvement in someone else's business get me closer to God? Or will my involvement in someone else's business help to separate me from God further? That's a question you've got to answer. I'm out.